Okay, Minorcan Navy, here we go, heading back to Cumberland Island again. We see the Cumberland Queen too. Now this is the ferry that gets you across to Cumberland Island to the National Park docks. Quick ride. It's about $35 for the trip, another $10 if you want to bring your bicycle. This is the way most people choose to get over the island. To catch some guys throwing the cast net as we arrived. And this is the dock right at Dungeness. And Dungeness is what was the largest mansion of Thomas and Lucy Carnegie on Cumberland Island, 40 rooms. And right here along the river, this is part of the complex there of Dungeness. This is the old captain's house. Right here, this was their wharf where they would have brought their yacht back in the day after traveling over from the mainland to come and visit their winter retreat, Dungeness. It's a good-looking boat right there. But a couple things that are there. Look at this, just an old tabby ruin with no history.
Hey guys, there are some tremendous live oak trees still standing here on Cumberland Island. Look at this thing.
Then you see a tree with a lot of history. Now here, this is the entrance to Dungeness. Now this mansion burnt in 1959, lost it there. But you can still see the skeleton, if you will, the brickwork that is still visible. And the only inhabitant there, or should I say inhabitants, are the wild horses that are still on Cumberland, first brought over by the European visitors. And a pair of ospreys have taken over one of the chimneys. Here you kind of get an idea of the Dungeness ruins, the size of the mansion at the time, and now the lawn area where the horses just graze day in and day out. This area was part of a garden area where they grew crops. Dungeness was kind of self-sustained. They had people there that tend a large garden. And this was part of that. To visit this back in its heyday, the late 1800s, early 1900s would have been really something. Several outbuildings that are no longer there, just the foundations. This was a recreation area. And the Cumberland Queen too, and its dock down at Seacamp. This is kind of a neat place. There are several camp areas on Cumberland Island, and this is the closest. Now there are no stores. This is the ranger office where you kind of go in and check in. Everything's got to be packed in. There is some water available at one or two of the campsites. But everything else you better bring because there's no other way to get it. Now, the natural beauty of Cumberland is just awe-inspiring. This is the main road that runs north and south on the island. You see the live oak trees and how they're kind of formed against the predominant northeast wind, and how everything's kind of pushed over. These trees don't get really tall. They just get thick, and they almost just build a green ceiling. Now we stopped by the campground. There are some facilities there, showers, restrooms. There's no hot water. It's just showers, but that feels good. There is some water stations And they've got, this is one of the campsites that was vacant. Got the little video of it. You can see some of the elevated containers there to keep the raccoons out of your food, and a bear box to store things. But it had a fire ring, a lantern post, a picnic table, and you supply the food and fun. And of course, your accommodations. But you can see how those live oak trees have just been kind of bent and twisted against that wind, that predominant wind, and really makes a neat visual over these pathways going back to the boardwalk to the beach. Now, this is the start of the elevated boardwalk that goes out to the beach on the Atlantic Ocean. And you're kind of right through the dunes. You can see the ocean back over that little bit of vegetation there. You kind of go right down between it, right out amongst the sea oats, sand crabs. Really neat area right between the forest, which you can see back in the background. This is kind of looking back, and you can see how that wind is just kind of shaped that tree line. Really neat. But this is the gift you get once you get out to the beach. And this was on a summer's day on the weekend, and not a soul to be seen here on the beach. Just had it to ourselves. Got a little video. They have a very large turtle nesting population here on Cumberland Island. Cumberland is the largest barrier island in the Georgia chain, and everywhere you see one of those white posts is a turtle nest. And at the date we were there, they had discovered 1,220 turtle nests. A really neat place, very special place, National Seashore at Cumberland Island in Georgia. Well, hey, that's going to do the show for us here today. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to ask if you haven't done it, click on that subscribe link. Most of all, we want you guys to stay safe out there.